Start spreading the news. Just we're going!
Popping bottles, the Jays and their fans celebrating today, the team defeating the Yankees and now moving on to the American League Championship Series. Good afternoon. The Blue Jays have punched their ticket to the ALCS after taking down the Yankees in Game 4.
There was trepidation after Game 3, but our Jays managed a decisive win in Yankee territory, no less. And Toronto fans are thrilled. Our Rahim Ladhani is live up front of Rogers Centre with more on the action and all the reaction. Rahim.
Hey, Michelle and Nathan, let me start by saying that everyone we've been speaking with so far, they are fired up after what they witnessed last night. Inside the Jays shop behind me, those ALCS t-shirts and hats that you saw the Jays wearing yesterday, they're flying off the shelves, as they should be, because this is the moment that sports fans live for. They want to see their team make a deep postseason run. And I think the cherry on top for a lot of Blue Jays fans is seeing them do it against the New York Yankees. For so long and for so many years, it kind of felt like the New York Yankees were the big brother of the Blue Jays. That all changed last night. To be able to eliminate New York in the Bronx, to be able to pop champagne on their home turf, and then to hear John Schneider deliver that infamous speech as you played off the top, blasting Frank Sinatra saying, "Start spreading the news, bleep." This is a moment not just for the team, but for the fans and for the entire city of Toronto. Yes, the Jays are now off to the ALCS, but tonight is really about celebrating what they've accomplished so far. This was a tough series for the Jays. Yes, they started out strong, but there were a few moments of trepidation. It was a true team effort, though. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. stepped up when it mattered most. There were also role players such as Ernie Clement and Nathan Lucas who had timely base hits. Of course, the bullpen. A lot of questions coming into this. There were times where they bent, but they certainly didn't break, and they certainly stepped up yesterday. I mentioned we've been speaking with fans throughout the day. Have a listen to how they're feeling this morning.
I have been a fan since day one. I was 93. I was here when we won the World Series, so this is very exciting for me.
I love the team. I love the way they play. Always in it. They had a bad night the other night, but it wasn't their game, right? So they played their game. I think they can go all the way. Dodgers might be tough if they get there, but I think they can go all the way.
It's the team of destiny. I'm inspired. I think Vladdy has stepped up. It's worth every penny on the contract. So, you know, it was a moment for him to establish himself for the next 15 years, and he nailed it.
So what happens next? Well, the Jays now have a chance to regroup, rest, and really decompress after that series. They're on to the ALCS, but they don't know who they're going to play. It's either going to be the Seattle Mariners or the Detroit Tigers. However, we won't have that result until tomorrow night. What we do know is that tickets for the ALCS are already on sale. They went on sale at 10 a.m. this morning. So if you haven't got yours already, you may have to try the resale market. We have been speaking with a few fans that were lucky enough to get them. Others have said, we've only got tickets for a potential Game 7, and they're hoping it doesn't go that far. Game 1 and 2 of the ALCS will happen at the Rogers Centre on Sunday and Thanksgiving Monday. Reporting live, I'm Rahim Ladhani. Nathan, back to you.
All right, book it. Thank you, Rahim. And the Maple Leafs broke the ice on their 2025-2026 campaign last night against the Montreal Canadiens.
On a break, Matthew dies, and Montembeault makes the stop. In front, Riley scores!
Morgan Riley gave the Leafs the lead midway through the third period, and they added a pair of empty netters on their way to a 5-3 win. Leaf fans spoke about their hopes for the new season.
What are you looking for this season in the Leafs? Matthews to take the next step. He's the captain. No Marner, no problem. And we have a tougher team. We need Stolars and Wall to stay healthy. And always optimistic. Love the Leafs for life.
The Leafs usually have a strong season. We'll probably have another strong season. Maybe we'll make it past the second round again.
As a team, as a country, we always come together for Toronto. So we're just going to keep fighting and hoping for more wins.
Nice. Is this the year?
This is for sure our year.
Go Habs, go!
Go Leafs, go!
The Leafs will be back on the ice Saturday to play the Red Wings in Detroit.
That was funny. Moving on, the province is moving ahead with plans to reconfigure bike lanes in Toronto's West End. Transportation Minister Prabmeet Sarkaria released a statement today saying work to restore vehicle lanes on a small stretch of Bloor Street West between Kipling and Islington will begin later this month. In July, the Superior Court struck down the plan to remove bike lanes. But Sarkaria says the planned reconfiguration is compliant with the ruling. That's because it includes protected, separated bike lanes while restoring a lane of traffic. The province continues to appeal that court decision. We want to take it now live. Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow is speaking in response. Let's hear what she has to say.
Now that you found this compromise on Bloor, that at least lays the groundwork of the idea that maybe you don't have to rip it out in the province and the Ford government announced that you can have similar types of solutions on the other regions?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you know if the province is going to be paying for this entirely?
I hope they do.
So they haven't actually reached out to you yet to tell you like the finer details of
I
it?
don't know how much it is. I don't know who's paying. We're not paying. We don't have the money in our budget to pay.
But are you expecting the province to pay for it?
Absolutely. City Council made a decision. We said that if you want to change things, you have to pay.
Do you have any sense of how this will affect traffic on that stretch of Bloor and the rest of the street? Will it improve things?
I don't know that, but restoring a piece of the vehicle lanes, I would imagine, will help a bit. And the transportation department from the City of Toronto and MTO, which is the ministry, so you see two levels of government working together, doing drawings together and looking at each other's drawings and compromising and working, which is the best way, by the way. I just want to say that the best solution is when we work different levels of government cooperatively so we can find the best solution. It's always been the way I do things. If there is a solution to be found, by gosh, I'm going to find it, and so that we could accommodate both sides. And people have different opinions, but the best way is to work together.
Councillor, if you don't mind, there's been a lot of opposition to these bike lanes. It seems like some of that was focused on other parts of Bloor, closer to the Kingsway area. What's announced today, do you think that will mollify any of those concerns from residents in Perth?
I'm not sure. I know our residents in the Kingsway area and some of the local businesses were advocating very strongly to the provincial government for an intervention. So it's to be determined. The news is fresh off the presses, so we'll see how it lands in the community.
Last question. Is there something about this particular stretch of Bloor that makes sense to have this kind of win-win solution? Was this a traffic pinch point before?
I'm not crystal clear, so I can't give you a solid on that one. Sorry.
Sorry, Mayor Chow, can I just ask you quickly about the announcement this morning with the TTC?
All right, you're listening to Mayor Chow and a councillor there reacting to news that the province is moving ahead with plans to reconfigure bike lanes on a stretch of Bloor between Kipling and Islington. As you know, the province and the city at odds over bike lanes. In this case, looks like the province getting its way. We'll definitely continue to follow their reaction and have more tonight at 5 and 6.
Well, the TTC is set to restore service on Line 2 to pre-pandemic levels. Mayor Chow made the announcement this morning. The move takes effect Sunday and will mean trains arrive every 2 minutes and 20 seconds during the morning rush and increased service throughout the day. Service is also being added to the 72 Pape, 73 Royal York, and 94 Wellesley bus routes. Mayor Chow says adding 6 trains during the morning rush will mean the TTC can move an additional 6,000 people.
We want TTC riders to have a smoother ride, don't wait as long. So instead of waiting for 3.5 minutes if you just missed the train, it's coming much more frequent, 2 minutes, 20 seconds, shorter wait, less crowding, more trains. It's excellent news for TTC riders on Line 2.
Chow says the TTC is also deploying crisis workers to the subway system starting in November. The mayor says riders who see something they want to report can do so through the Safe TTC app, and that the team includes a crisis worker and it will respond.
Well, more news in a moment, but first let's take a look at the forecast. Feeling a bit crisp today, but we've got that gorgeous sunshine out there, lifting our mood even further beyond the Jays win. Good condition if you want to get out of the city and head more rural to perhaps a pumpkin patch. Our Lindsay Morrison is live at Spring Ridge Farm in Milton with a peek at the current conditions. Lindsay, I would argue this is the perfect pumpkin patch weather.
Michelle, this feels like fall. It felt like summer for so much of early October, but this is it. The sun is shining, the leaves are changing colors, and these pumpkins are ready for picking. They look beautiful here at Spring Ridge. I'm just going to put that down for a second. It's heavy. It's a perfect pumpkin, I must say. And yes, the weather is pretty perfect as well. It started off a little cool this morning, but now the sun is out. We've warmed up a little bit, and it's going to be not only a great day today to head to a patch, but the next couple of days are looking pretty good too. Let's begin first with a look at your current weather conditions. Temperature-wise, yeah, we have improved a little bit from early this morning. It is now 12 degrees in Toronto, and we are on our way to a forecast daytime high of about 13. Now, on the satellite and radar and as we take a look at the winds, you'll notice that those winds are coming from an easterly direction today. They're light in nature. It's just a light breeze, and there aren't many clouds out here at this time, so beautiful sunshine expected throughout the day today and for a good portion of tomorrow as well. Here is today at a glance. Technically at 13 degrees, we are a couple of degrees cooler than normal. It's so interesting that we were well above seasonal for so long, and now we're a little bit on the cool side, but I don't think anyone's complaining. It is going to be lovely. We can't wait to show you around beautiful Spring Ridge Farm here in Milton. I'm checking out this tractor right now, Nathan and Michelle. Let's see what happens. It says crank me, so I'm gonna give it a whirl. Let's see. Oh, we're watching up here. Beautiful day to be under the sun, and we're going to take you through a very important Thanksgiving long weekend forecast coming up. For now, I'll send it back inside to you.
I love it, Lindsay. Thank you. Look forward to the tour. And still ahead this noon hour, Toronto's fire chief calls for new regulations to deal with the rising number of fires connected to lithium-ion batteries. We'll tell you what he wants the federal government to do. Still ahead. But first, we turn to Richmond Hill, where a man was killed last night in what police are calling an unprovoked attack.
The suspect's in custody. The investigation is ongoing, but people in the area are still concerned. CTV's John Musselman is live at the scene with the very latest. John.
Well, Nathan, this happened at a home just behind me on Lorraine Street in Richmond Hill. We'll show you some video last night. Police were called to this neighborhood around 5 o'clock last night. As Michelle mentioned, this was an unprovoked attack, according to police. A 51-year-old man was assaulted outside of his home. He was rushed to a hospital in life-threatening condition, but he did not survive. Now, of course, neighbors are quite concerned about this. Police say that the person that was involved in this situation has been arrested and is in custody. Still, neighbors are quite worried about what happened here, considering it was 5 o'clock at night. Now, we also spoke to another neighbor who shared with us some security video. He lives in a home 3 doors down from where this happened. In that security video, you can see a person in a hoodie and a checkered coat walking down the sidewalk towards number 32. You can identify this person, but the timestamp on that video is just 8 minutes prior to when this assault took place. Now, that video has been turned over to police, York Regional Police. We're still waiting for an update on any connection between that video and what happened here last night. We did have a chance to speak to a neighbor who told us what he felt about what was happening here in his neighborhood.
Horrible, because because I'm concerned so much. I walk at night sometimes like 8, 9. So I do a lot of exercise. So, and we have a neighbor has habit as well. So this year we walking together all the time. So around like 9, 10 something. Yeah. That's concerns because my neighbors. I just talk in the morning, but they're horrified.
Nathan, Michelle, I did have a chance to speak to a man who came out of the home at 32 on this street. He said he was the brother of the victim. He was quite distraught. We spoke very briefly. He said they really don't know why this happened, but they're certainly looking for justice. We're waiting for an update from York Regional Police on who the accused is and what the charges here may be. Reporting live in Richmond Hill, I'm John Musselman. I'll send it back to you.
All right, more details to come. Thank you, John. Here in the city, police are asking for your help finding a trio of suspects after a stabbing in the downtown core. Emergency crews responded to the Bay and College area around 6:45 last night. They say a victim was approached by 3 suspects and then stabbed before making their way to College Station. They were taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators have now shared these images of 3 suspects. They haven't said how the victim and suspects may have known each other, but they're asking anyone who knows where they are or what took place to get in touch. We'll get those images for you a little bit later.
In Vaughan, the search is on for a group of would-be jewelry robbers after their plans were foiled earlier this week. York Regional Police shared these images of 3 of the suspects. On Tuesday afternoon, they say a man entered a store near Famous Avenue and Colossus Drive. He tried to prop open a door, but employees managed to close it. They say 6 masked men got out of an SUV and walked towards the entrance, with at least one holding a hammer, but they fled after realizing the doors were locked. No damage or injuries were reported and no items were stolen, but anyone who might have some information in this case is asked to contact police or make an anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers.
Toronto Fire Chief Jim Jessup is calling for regulations on lithium-ion batteries, calling them the fastest growing fire safety risk in the city.
From a federal perspective, much like our counterparts, New York State and California have done, looking at legislation that regulates and requires a standard for the types of batteries that are coming in. And from a provincial perspective, we look forward to working with our partners on potential amendments to the Ontario Fire Code with respect to, as the councillor noted, the number of mobility devices that may be able to be stored. Are there requirements that should be put in place for charging stations and fire separations for these types of buildings?
Jessup says there's been a 590% increase in fires related to lithium-ion batteries since 2020. The chief specifically referenced a fatal fire on Bleecker Street in February and a fire on the TTC on New Year's Eve during a news conference at City Hall this morning. He's calling for collaboration with the federal and provincial governments to introduce regulations to prevent these fires going forward.
Back in the 1960s, it would take approximately 20 to 30 minutes for a room to go into what we would call flashover, where all of the items would basically be at their ignition temperature. In the early 2000s, because of synthetic furniture, that's dropped to about 5 minutes. We have video evidence from the City of Toronto where once these bikes go into thermal runaway or these batteries go into thermal runaway, less than 90 seconds, you have a room or a subway car fully engulfed in flames and toxic smoke.
Now, there were 68 fires related to lithium-ion batteries in Toronto as of September. 39 were connected to batteries in devices like e-bikes and e-scooters. Today, City Council will consider a motion to call on other levels of government to enact new regulations. Well, there's some cautious optimism in the Middle East and around the world as Israel and Hamas agree to the first steps toward ending the war in Gaza. And CTV's Jeremy Sharon joins us with the details. Big news, Jeremy. What did we hear from our Prime Minister today about this?
Yeah, Nathan, absolutely big news. This is, both sides agreeing to the first phase of this peace plan being proposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. It means Monday we are expected to see the release of Israeli hostages. In exchange, Israeli officials will release some Palestinian prisoners and will retreat from parts of Gaza to an agreed-upon line. A lot of reaction to that agreement, including here in Ottawa, of course. Prime Minister Mark Carney took to social media last night, praised the president for his role in getting to this point, in getting both sides to agree to this first phase. And on his way into a cabinet meeting this morning, Prime Minister Mark Carney called today a day for optimism. Here's a little more from the Prime Minister.
I want to salute, of course, President Trump, whose decisive leadership has made this possible, Mr. Kushner, Mr. Witkoff, the Qataris, the Egyptians, Turkey, who've been essential to getting to this moment. The next 48 hours are crucial. We urge the parties, particularly Hamas, to follow through, release all the hostages, and including the deceased hostages. The President and I discussed in the White House how Canada can support this process. We are supporting with humanitarian aid. There's other mechanisms that we can do to support it.
Now, Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand also commenting on her way into that cabinet meeting this morning, ensuring that an emphasis is put on the need to get aid into Gaza as soon as possible. Once this agreement is reached, once the hostages are exchanged, or the hostages are released, prisoners are released as well. Once this exchange happens, also touching on the role that Canada will play in terms of financials for supporting aid efforts going into Gaza. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre also taken to social media congratulating U.S. President Donald Trump. But of course, across the board, there's a lot of acknowledgement, Nathan, that this is only the first phase. This is an important first phase. Hostages will finally be released. Israel believes 20 of 48 hostages that remain are still alive. But after this, more hard work will continue, and there are still many questions about what the future looks like in the Middle East. Specifically, there are calls in this plan for Hamas to lay down its arms, for a new governing structure to be created in Palestine in order for peace, lasting peace in the Middle East. So there are many questions still as to how we move on from what will happen Monday, which is the release of the hostages, an important first step. But there is still so much work that has to be done for the outcome that many are hoping for. We're not quite there yet.
I'm sure many of us around the world watching very closely. CTV's Jeremy Sharon in Ottawa. Thank you.
Anytime.
Meanwhile, Global Affairs Canada is calling for the release of 6 Canadians who were detained by Israel after trying to deliver aid to Gaza.
We are the 6 Canadian citizens aboard the Conscience. If you are seeing this video, we've been attacked at sea and abducted by the Israeli forces.
The activists were on board a flotilla intercepted by Israeli forces yesterday morning, a little over 200 kilometers off the coast of Gaza. They were carrying food and medical supplies to the war-torn region. 2 of the activists are from Toronto. 1 is a doctor from Montreal, and 3 others are from Newfoundland and Labrador. Positive tests and outbreaks linked to COVID-19 are increasing in Canada. That's according to the federal government's latest data. And it comes as COVID-19 vaccination campaigns are rolling out. But for the first time, they will come at a cost for some Canadians this year. For the latest on this, let's bring in CTV's Scott Hurst. Scott, first, what do the numbers tell us about the impact of COVID-19 right now?
Michelle, that growing number of cases has led to an increase in hospitalizations around the country. Now, this is an expected rise in COVID cases this time of year, and we're likely to see an uptick in cases of flu and RSV in the weeks ahead. Now, the latest reporting found that just over 11% of COVID tests came back positive, and that totaled just about 2,800 detections. Ultimately, the government data is classifying the increase as moderate to low in the provinces reporting the new data, but the trend line here is on the rise. Since the end of August, the test positivity rate was at about 7%, and in every week of collecting national data since then, it has slowly increased to, as I mentioned, Michelle, just over 11% in the most latest reporting. So that is really just a broad snapshot of where we stand right now in terms of an increase in COVID test positivity rates and outbreaks linked to COVID-19 in this country.
And bring us up to speed. Where in Canada do you have to pay for a vaccine this year if you're not high risk? And how are people feeling about it?
Yeah, so COVID shots are no longer free for all in certain provinces, and it appears a majority of Canadians do not support that. They're not on board with that. If you're part of a group deemed high risk, it is still free in every single province in territory, including here in Ontario. It is free, not just for the high risk group, it is free for everyone in this province. But according to new polling from Nanos Research for CTV News, almost 60% of Canadians, 6 in 10, would rather see the vaccines continue to be free for all, just shy of 30%. As you're looking at the graphic right here on your screen, just shy of 30% are on board with keeping it free for the high-risk groups, and about 11% believe everyone should have to pay. Now, if you're unsure if you qualify or are wondering about the COVID-19 vaccine, the best advice, the best recommendation is to still consult with your doctor or another medical health provider, as professionals believe the vaccine has been shown to be effective in preventing severe disease. Michelle.
CTV's Scott Hurst live at the CTV National Newsroom. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
The 4th Nobel Prize of this week was announced today in Stockholm.
The Nobel Prize in Literature for 2025 is awarded to the Hungarian author Laszlo Krasznahorkai for his compelling and visionary oeuvre that in the midst of apocalyptic terror reaffirms the power of art.
Works by the latest Nobel laureate have been praised for their artistic depth. He's received many other awards, including the 2015 Man Booker International Prize and the National Book Award for Translated Literature in the U.S. Several of his works have been turned into films.
Well, we are not kidding around here at Spring Ridge Farm. We're spending some time with these little goats, and it's a great afternoon to spend some time here as well, and will be over the Thanksgiving long weekend. But first, let's talk about this morning's weather. It was a chilly start in many different parts of southern Ontario. Here's a look at some of the numbers. Yeah, this was our coldest morning of the season so far. Last time we had temperatures this cool in many areas, or specifically Toronto, was last May. As we make our way through the night tonight, it is going to be another cold one. There is still a frost advisory in place and will be in place as we make our way into tomorrow morning. We have lots to talk about when it comes to your weekend forecast. Of course, it's an important one. Thanksgiving is happening. We will be live here from Spring Ridge Farm. It's also lunchtime, can you tell? Lots more to come here live on CTV News at noon. We'll be right back. Good job, kids.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
All right, let's talk about the forecast. It's that time of year. You can feel fall in the air. So many fun things to do, especially, this time of year.
Hitting up the farm. I love the fall feels when you're on a farm, Lindsay, and I think it helps make the colder temperatures and the darkness okay, because it is such a great time of year.
Yeah, you both make such good points. And you know what? It smells incredible here. We were just talking about how there's pies in the oven. It smells like cinnamon. Fall is officially here. And we're going to talk pumpkins. I want to point this one out first. This is an 800-pound pumpkin here at Spring Ridge Farm. Very impressive. And I'm going to bring in Farmer John here. Thanks for having us out here today.
Oh, our pleasure, Lindsay. Really nice to have you here. Thank you.
This is a wonderful time of year for you guys. Lots happening, especially this weekend for Thanksgiving. Give us an idea of what families can do if they want to come on down here.
Well, thanks for the nice weather this weekend. So lots of families can come and enjoy the farm, and it's a great time to visit rural Ontario. So at Spring Ridge, we'll have wagon rides going constantly, lots of animals, singing chicken show, the 5-acre corn trail, the singing chicken show, I think I said that, yeah. And pedal tractor. So lots to do. And look, the Niagara Escarpment lookout up high in the mountains, great for people to go up, and you can see the CN Tower from here and right down into Burlington. So great views from here.
Oh, it's beautiful. We're going to check it out as well. And, we've been talking about apple season. That's still going. But I think a lot of people are considering getting their pumpkins now. Tell me a little bit about the pumpkin season this year.
Yeah, the pumpkin crop is really good. You'll find this year with the lack of rainfall, there's lots of meat in the pumpkins. So they're nice and heavy, well-shaped, and good handles on them. Last year with all the rain, they were a little softer. Mm-hmm. So this year, I think the staying quality is going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
So we're happy with the crop. There's lots of variety, lots of shapes, lots of sizes. So yeah, if you want pumpkins, now is a good time to get them.
Now is a good time. And I can attest to the fact that some of your pumpkins are pretty heavy, yeah. But in a great way. We do have some pretty decent weather in store for the next few days here. So we are going to get to your forecast. And we will begin by letting you know that weather is brought to you by the Presler Law Firm Injury Lawyers. You don't pay unless they win. All right, so yes, it was a little bit of a cooler start to the day today. Temperature-wise, yeah, we're feeling a bit fresh out here. It is 12 degrees in Toronto, and very similar conditions right across southern, southwestern Ontario for today, even the north, as you can see. Our forecast high for this afternoon is 13 degrees. We're a little below seasonal. 15 is the norm, but we've got glorious sunshine out here. Today's one of those days where you can actually throw on the flannel, throw on that fall jacket that you haven't been able to wear yet, get outside and enjoy. Just don't forget the sunglasses. Your evening at a glance, about 11 degrees around 7 p.m. Clear skies, light winds, but again, we are forecasting some cool temperatures. So those are the three ingredients that we need for frost. So that risk is there once again. Look at some of these forecast lows. -5 degrees tonight in Bancroft, -2 in Peterborough. Once again, we expect to be around 3 degrees for a low in the city of Toronto. Environment Canada has this widespread frost advisory in place. It's issued based on certain criteria for each region as it relates to the growing season. So that's why portions of the GTA are included right now. Let's talk about in store for tomorrow. We're going to start off with glorious sunshine once again, and we will be a little bit warmer. So a forecast daytime high of about 17 degrees this time around. So yeah, an improvement from before. And when we take a look at our satellite and radar, you're going to notice that it's all clear skies for now, and things might change a little bit as we head into the day tomorrow. We expect to remain dry, but A little bit of cloud cover will increase as the day goes on. And then there's a couple of question marks still when it comes to our weekend forecast on whether or not some areas are going to get some wet weather. So let's set the forecast radar in motion just to show you what could happen here. The models are disagreeing a little bit, but right now it looks like a few showers through the overnight hours and into Saturday. Saturday is going to bring us a lot of dry weather, just the possibility of some showers moving through once again. And then Sunday looks to be mostly dry, but could also bring us some cloud cover. So there's the 7-day forecast. Temperature-wise, we're still comfortable. We're seasonal for both Thanksgiving Sunday and for Monday. And then the early part of next week looks not bad either, just maybe a little more cloud than we've had as of late. If you're just joining us, we are live here at Spring Ridge Farm. Nathan and Michelle, I'm going to pick the perfect pumpkin and look at the choice. I mean, what do we think? We want one with a nice big stem, I think. Nice face for making a jack-o'-lantern. I don't know. It's going to be tough to choose. I'll send it back inside to you guys.
I think you're good with anyone. They all look perfect.
So many options.
Those are gorgeous. Oh, your kids will be happy coming home with a
nice and
pumpkin
heavy
today. We'll see you a little later. Well, dancers from all around the world are converging in Toronto today as the Canada Salsa and Bachata Congress returns for its 21st year at the Fairmont Royal York Hotel. CTV's Jessica Smith is there live with a look at the competition. Jess, you're a dancer. I'm sure you love this.
I am in my glory, Michelle, and we are seeing amazing performances from people from all over Canada and around the world. And I'm joined now by Jennifer, the founder of the Congress. Talk to me about the history of this, because it's been going on for 21 years, and we're seeing dancers of every level from around the world here in the city of Toronto.
Yeah, this is our 21st anniversary, and we bring in international artists from all over the world that are teaching and performing and raising the level of the dance scene here. And we have competitors from all across North America. We have amateurs, professionals, kids, all ages, all levels.
So who is this for? Can anybody come watch? I want people to enjoy the art of dance, but how do they come and do that?
It's open to the public. We're at the Fairmont Royal York Hotel all weekend long. They can come for a day, for an evening. They can watch shows at night. They can party until 4 in the morning with us. They can take a workshop. They can watch the competition. It's all open to the public.
So what is it you love about dance so much? Obviously, you have a dance background. You are a dance teacher, but why put all this together? Because we're seeing people from every age, every stage of dance here representing. But why do you love this all so much?
Because it's such a beautiful community. It's electric. There's a different energy when you're in an entire ballroom or hotel with a bunch of people that all love the same music, the same dance. It becomes a family. It becomes a community. It becomes a place where you can grow and challenge yourself and have fun.
Honestly, I'm seeing tips and tricks, and oh my goodness, she's upside down. This is so cool. I want people to understand how hard this is, because years and years goes into this. When it comes to taking those first steps, quite literally, into dance, what would you recommend for people who are watching this right now thinking, you know what, I can pick up a little salsa?
Yeah, I would say find a great dance school. There's plenty of dance schools in every city across Canada. And also, just practice with your friends, practice with your classmates, just learn, because there's no age limit on dance, there's no age limit on connection, on joy.
We're watching people dancing right now. When it comes to the performances throughout the rest of today, are we looking at amateurs and professionals? How does it all work?
So tonight will be amateur teams and professionals. Tomorrow we have more amateur competitors competing with their teachers. So it's called a Pro-Am division. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday night is performances by all of our top artists from all across the country and all over the world.
Well, I love it. I'm not a ballroom dancer by any means, but I'm picking up a couple of steps. Thank you so, so much. We're going to throw it to break with some beautiful dancing.
Now to a promising first here in Canada for those living with Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
A medication specifically developed to deal with the condition is now available in this country. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has more.
6-year-old Oliver is an active boy, and his parents hope he'll stay that way for a long time.
So yeah, skiing, biking, fishing.
It's all thanks to a new drug, Agamree or vamorolone, just approved in Canada for boys with Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
The difficulty in Duchenne muscular dystrophy revolves around a protein called dystrophin, and that protein is either missing or not working well based on a problem in the gene.
The muscles break down and inflammation leads to the formation of scar tissue.
Vamorolone helps to reduce that muscle inflammation, thereby, kind of preventing some of the scar tissue formation and that ends up accompanying the muscle damage.
Dr. Craig Campbell says because this drug was specifically developed for Duchenne patients, it reduces the typical side effects associated with traditional steroid treatments, things like fragile bones, weight gain, and short stature.
He got on during the clinical trial, and he's doing so far really good. We see no side effects, and he's got good strength for now and good stamina.
There are drugs that are available for boys with Duchenne. They're available in the United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, but they were not available in Canada.
John Davidson, who toured Canada in support of his son Jesse as he battled Duchenne muscular dystrophy, says Defeat Duchenne Canada played a key role in funding research on vamorolone. Jesse died in 2009 at the age of 29.
I think Jesse would probably smile and say, well, it's about time.
Vamorolone is only approved for patients up to a certain weight, but Oliver's family hopes by the time he reaches that, new medications will be available. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The province is planning to spend $250 million to expand access to fertility treatments. The Ministry of Health says the cash injection will go towards funding 25 clinics, including 6 additional IVF clinics. Health Minister Sylvia Jones says the government's goal is to help Ontarians start and grow their families by shortening wait times. She says the investments will help triple the number of families benefiting from publicly funded fertility supports. This comes after Stats Canada recently reported the country's total fertility rate hit a new low last year of 1.25 children per woman.
Hospitals in central Ontario are looking to hire much-needed healthcare workers and doctors.
This week, the surge came to Vaughan with a job fair. CTV's Rob Cooper has the details.
Several local hospitals teamed up to hold a job fair in Vaughan in an effort to attract healthcare professionals to the county. It's a competitive market right now, and the potential employees know it. Dean Armstrong lives in St. Catharines and is looking for work and is willing to move for it.
Full-time. I've been a nurse for a little over 20 years now. I do have ties to the area. I went to Georgian College in Barrie. I have friends in Collingwood. I have worked in Wasaga Beach as a nurse, so I have ties to the area.
Collingwood is growing. The new hospital is going to be there in a few years, and we are expanding opportunities to work there.
Collingwood General and Marine Hospital, Georgian Bay General Hospital, Headwaters Healthcare Center, and Waypoint Center for Mental Health all had booths at the job fair.
Trying to sell the idea of slowing life down a little bit, taking a step back, living where you love and working where you love.
I have just done my certification of PSW, and I just want to start my career in that field. So that's why I just came here to apply that job.
Most of the hospitals are either expanding or preparing to grow in the coming years, and expanding its roster of qualified staff is a top priority. Healthwaters Healthcare Center in Orangeville serves over 140,000 residents with 800 staff, including 200 physicians.
We're selling the job, we're selling the area of the great amenities that we have in a small town called Orangeville, Ontario.
The hospitals say they're still looking to fill all kinds of positions at all levels, including full-time, part-time, even casual. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Vaughan.
Still to come, buying a big-ticket item with no interest for up to a year may sound enticing, but could leave buyers with a big bill if you don't pay it off in time. Details after the break.
If you're making a large purchase, buying a furnace, appliances, or even some furniture, you might be offered what's called a deferred payment plan.
They can allow you to pay 0% interest over the course of a loan, but if you don't pay it off by a certain date, you can be hit with major interest charges. CTV's Pat Foran has this consumer alert.
Which was don't pay for 1 year, no interest. So I thought, great, got it.
Nina Stanchevsky of Bradford saw an advertisement for a water softener and decided to get one for her home. The purchase price was $6,500, and last August she agreed to a deferred 0% interest loan for 12 months.
In August, I had my last payment in my head due of $804.99, I believe, and I didn't get a statement.
Stanchevsky says she found out the final payment was due on August 15th, but she made the payment a week late on August 22nd. Because she missed the deadline, she was charged more than $3,000 in interest.
I didn't get the final statement, so I didn't know when it was due.
Stanchevsky took out the loan with Flexity, a company that offers financing and payment plans for many different stores and services. When she complained, she was offered a discount of $900, which she declined, claiming she wasn't properly notified of her final due date.
I would like just for it to be forgiven. I mean, there's got to be some kind of grace period. There's got to be something. I paid it on the 22nd.
CTV News reached out to Flexity but did not get a response. But on the company's website, it does say, with deferred plans, the balance must be paid in full before the end of the term to avoid accrued interest being charged to your account.
They can be effective if the consumer is disciplined and can actually pay them off on time.
Retail analyst Bruce Winder says anyone using deferred payment plans must keep track of them carefully and pay them off before their due date to avoid interest charges.
If you're going to enter one of these plans, make sure that you have a very disciplined process at home where you pay on time, because, you don't want to be looking at, 30% plus interest rate on anything.
Stanchevsky feels she shouldn't have to pay $3,000 in interest for being 1 week late.
I'm not paying this, so write it off now, write it off later. In the end, not paying it.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
A senior official at the Bank of Canada is calling for more competition in the country's banking sector. Senior Deputy Governor Carolyn Rogers shared her thoughts in a speech at the Canadian Club this morning. She said it's more urgent than ever that Canada's economy become more productive as it faces the impact of the trade war with the U.S. In the banking sector, she said Canada's so-called Big Six banks had offered stability to their financial sector, but also meant they were less likely to take major risks or to compete. She argued allowing new entrants into the financial sector and fostering more competition would drive down prices for Canadians while boosting the economy.
The Federal Court of Appeal heard arguments yesterday from Cineplex as the company defends its use of an online booking fee. Back in 2023, the Competition Bureau said the movie theater chain was engaging in what's called illegal drip pricing by charging some customers up to $1.50 to secure their tickets online. Last year, the Competition Tribunal agreed and imposed a record penalty of nearly $39 million against Cineplex. Lawyers for Cineplex repeated claims that the fee is properly disclosed and can be avoided by buying movie tickets in person. This comes as Cineplex says box office revenue for its third quarter was just shy of $160 million, down from about $175 million last year. Meantime, PepsiCo topped Wall Street expectations for its third quarter, with net revenues coming in just shy of $24 billion U.S. This comes amid pressure from activist investor Elliott Management to boost results and some customer pushback over price hikes over the years. PepsiCo says the impact of tariffs slowed core earnings by 3 percentage points, but it expects growing margins with North American beverage sales later this year.
Toronto Raptors beat the Kings in Sacramento in their second game of the NBA preseason last night.
The offseason, he wants to make Sacramento home as Ingram connects.
Raptors forward Brandon Ingram led the charge with a game-high 21 points. The final score was 130-122 for the Raps. Toronto opens the regular season in Atlanta October 22nd. Their home opener against the Milwaukee Bucks is set for October 24th. Two days after announcing a reunion tour, Rush is adding more shows in Toronto. Eleven shows are being added to the tour, which begins next June in California. They included 2 additional shows in Toronto. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson will now play Scotiabank Arena August 7th, 9th, 11th, and 13th. Those 4 nights are the only Canadian dates on the tour. Ticket pre-sales begin Monday, with tickets available to the general public October 17th.
Let's head out into the bright afternoon sunshine now. Spring Ridge Farm. Oh, no, I thought we were doing weather. Okay, we'll do Taylor Swift's story first. At this point, it is not rare for Swift to be breaking records on the music chart, but this is a big one. Swift's album, The Life of a Showgirl, has now had the best first week for an album since music streaming became popular. That happened fast, and that was just 5 days into its release. The album surpassing 3.5 million equivalent album units. That represents both sales and streams.
All right, that is it for the show. There's some frost and watches and warnings, but overall a pretty good day. Thanks for watching CTV News at noon. Remember, you can get Toronto's breaking news all day long on CP24 and at our website, ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here, have a wonderful afternoon. I'm Michelle Dubé.
And I'm Nathan Downer. Be sure to join us later for CTV News at 5 and 6. Have a great afternoon. Mr. Milas.